Hi there everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Sarah Newman and I'm so excited to show you some festive Christmas cutting dies from our friends at Creative Expressions. Today we're going to play with 7 cutting dies. We have a starburst background, we have 2 borders, a pearly snowflake and holly and berry. We have 3 sentiment dies, so we have It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year, we have Thinking of You at Christmas, and we have May Your Christmas Sparkle. We also have something very special. This is the limited edition Christmas Angel die. Now every year Creative Expressions creates a new Christmas angel, and this is the 2019 design. It's absolutely beautiful, but do remember it is a limited edition and that means limited stock. One great thing about this die and the other larger dies is that they always have project ideas on the inside, so you're never at a loss for inspiration. Now I've got 5 card projects to share with you today, and those cards are going to be using the Dotted Duos paper pack number 1 from Hot Off the Press, and this collection is 12 coordinating pattern papers. They're a 12 by 12 inch size, and they're double-sided, and they have a really fun small and large polka dot pattern. I'm also going to be using some of the thin line dazzles to accent my cards, and I'll be working mostly with the gold and the silver, although this particular set also has black and white inside. So as you can see, we have just so much to explore today. I'm really glad that you're here with me. Come play with us. Let's take a closer look at our 2 border dies, and we'll begin with the pearly snowflake border. Now the measurements on the package are going to be in centimeters because Creative Expressions is a British company. So I can tell you in inches that this will measure about 4 3/4 by 2 1/4 going across the short way. So they're perfect for cards. They can also be stretched to accommodate scrapbook pages too. Now when you die cut this, you're going to find it is a beautiful and very intricate design. You can use it going this way. Of course you can turn it around, have it going the other way, have it going side to side on your cards. And don't forget that you can also die cut multiples and create some really pretty background effects. And I think just putting 2 together on the square front of a card would just be absolutely beautiful, maybe with a die cut sentiment here in the middle. So there's a lot that you can do with these. And in fact, bear in mind that when you do your die cutting, of course you will have the die cut piece itself, but you will also have the waste piece. Or the negative part of the cutting die. And here I've die cut this from some silver holographic cardstock, and I just put this down onto a piece of black cardstock. Now normally you might think to toss this in your recycling bin, but you can also do some fun layering with it. So I'm going to take that white cardstock die that I cut and just nest it into that open space here. And you can see how pretty that is. Now then you can start to coordinate with maybe some pieces of contrasting cardstock. So here's just a blue piece that I'm slipping underneath here. Now I could trim the entire piece down so that I've got that really beautiful contrast. You can also do some high contrast, high energy, with a piece of bright pink cardstock, and I think this would make a really fun border on maybe a little bit untraditional Christmas color combination. Don't forget, especially with the pearly snowflake border, this can be used for general winter themed cards and scrapbook pages as well, not just specifically Christmas. Now let's take a look at our other border die, which is the holly and berries. So I'm going to move aside my pearly snowflake, and I'm going to bring in the holly and berries. When it is die cut, you will have multiple elements here. Now this one is measuring 5 inches by about 1.5 inches going the short way, and that's to create the border. And then of course you've got some accent pieces here. So the leaves can be nested right underneath the leaves on this beautiful detail border. Now I would think that you could also use the border just as it is. You can also use these elements together as they are as well. But if you want to layer them all up together, you will have a look like this, which I think is just so stunning and beautiful. So I've got the leaves underneath my leaves on my detail border, and I'm very glad that I don't have to glue green cardstock underneath here and try and fussy cut around the edges. This just makes it so much easier. And then the berries, of course, just get glued right on top. Now you can use these elements together without that white border, but you can also snip pieces apart from the border once you've assembled it. So this is what we call a snippability factor, and it's a great way to get more than one use out of your layering dies. So these are the two borders. As you can see, you can use them for cards, for scrapbook pages, and so much more. Let's talk about our festive Christmas angel. And this die collection has 7 dies inside. So you've got the angel, you've got her wings, and lots of accessory items. Let's take a look at what those will look like when you've got them die cut. So we'll start with our angel, and she stands in inches, about 3¼ inches tall, and she's got a beautiful set of very detailed wings. She has some accessory pieces too, some stars and hearts, a halo, a banner that says peace, and a long-stemmed lily. Now I love these beautiful wings and how you can do your layering with them. So I've die cut the angel, and as you can see, you'll just glue down the wings and then pop down your angel right on top. And you can use foam tape if you want to, and that'll give you a little bit more dimension on there too. But let's take a look at another technique that you can do with those wings to add even more dimension. So I've got a piece of black cardstock, and this is just so that you can see the wings and see what I'm doing as I'm detailing this out. Now I've cut a piece of plain white cardstock, and it's quite sturdy cardstock. You don't want to use anything really lightweight for this. And I've trimmed it so that it is just slightly larger than the wings. And then what I've done is put masking tape on the back side. So just the kind of masking tape that you probably have in your garage or even your crafting area. Put 2 big pieces on the back to completely cover that. Set your wings down on here, and then use maybe another bit of masking tape to secure that in place. Run this through your die cutting machine. Don't remove the tape from the back, and you will have a beautiful piece that looks like this. So instead of all of those innies coming out as you would normally want, they're all staying inside. You're still going to get detail, but it's going to give you a completely different look. Now, the reverse side doesn't look so nice because of course I've still got that masking tape on there, which is totally fine. You want to keep that on there. Now what you can do is leave it as is. You can also take another set of wings that you have die cut and popped out all of those innies, fold them up, and just glue those down together in the center, maybe with a little bit of foam tape. This will give you a really pretty tone-on-tone look, but don't forget, you can also die cut it from different cardstock. And in this case, I'm using some metallic gold, and I think that would just be really beautiful as well. So you've got a couple of different options that you can do with the angel, and I think it gives lots of different fun looks. Now, a background that she looks really nice on is our really beautiful stardust background. And here I've die cut this from a metallic, silver metallic paper from hot off the press. And this is going to measure 5 inches square. Now that's going all the way to the edges of the design. I usually like to cut my piece of cardstock slightly larger so that I have a border effect on there. But that's going to give a really pretty background for our angel. Okay, now that we've taken a look at all of our beautiful dies, let's start looking at some card projects. Our first Christmas card features the pearly snowflake borders, which I've put down top and bottom onto my card front, and I've just glued those right on top of the Dotted Duos background paper. Now I have some dazzle borders top and bottom as well, just for a little bit of metallic shine, and I think that coordinates really nicely with the gold metallic paper that I have on here. The sentiment, thinking of you at Christmas. This sentiment, like all of the die cut sentiments we'll look at in today's webisode, is measuring about 3 inches by 2 inches. So you can see they make just a really nice card focal. Now I'm also using a bit of dazzles just to dot my eyes, and I've got some of those kind of scattered back here on the background of my card as well. Now, I have to confess I had a little bit of help creating the perfect square for my sentiment. And this is a 2.5-inch square die. Now, this is coming from a die cutting collection that I haven't shown you yet. And this is the Festive Collection Denise. And as you can see, it's got lots of elements to it. I'm only using the square because that was just such a perfect size for all of these sentiments. And so I'll show this to you in another card down the road as well. So I've just got a green bow on here to finish things off, and I think it's a simple and easy design and one that just has a lot of Christmas cheer. Now, I'm also using the pearly border in that nesting technique that we took a look at earlier. So I have some holographic paper that I've die cut from, and I've nested that into white cardstock, backed it with a bit of teal, and so that gives me that contrast and shine on here. I've die cut my sentiment from silver metallic paper and then mounted it onto a second sentiment that has been die cut from teal. That just gives it a little bit more presence. Again, the dotted duos paper and some silver dazzles, a great big Christmas bow, and I think you have a really fun Christmas design. Now, I really love that red and white pattern paper, so of course I had to use it for another card too. This one featuring the holly and berry design. So I have the border going up here, and of course I've got all of those elements backed with the coordinating dies, a simple bow right in the center to set things off. I've also done some snipping here and created some accent pieces just to sort of direct the reader's eye into my card sentiment. Again, dazzles top and bottom to finish things off. Now, of course, we had to play with that stardust background, and here I've die cut it from blue and just pop that on top of some contrasting cream cardstock. More dazzles going through the center and then at the bottom of the card, and another little bow here. Now, I think this is a really great card layout if you are creating cards en masse for Christmas, like a lot of us do. If you have a big Christmas card mailing list and you're looking for a simple design that you can create over and over again, maybe swapping out the colors or swapping out the sentiments, this might be the one for you. Now, our final card project that I want to show you is again using the stardust background, this time on cream cardstock with some black behind it. Of course, I have my angel with her wings are fluttering, and I've got that nesting technique that we looked at earlier where I've kept all of the little details inside the wings and then layered up the second pair of wings on top. She's popped up onto foam tape, so she has a little bit more dimension. I've got that beautiful gold banner that says peace across the back, and her halo is die cut from metallic gold as well. Now, the sentiment, thinking of you at Christmas, well, this has been die cut and placed down once again with our Denise collection, and that's of course using the square that we looked at earlier, as well as this beautiful detail element on here that will leave the center so that you can still see through it. So again, that's from the Denise collection, and it's one that I'm hoping I can do another webisode on in the future. So hopefully you'll see more designs by me with that collection too. So I think you can see that there are many, many fun and easy ways to use these festive dies from our friends at Creative Expressions. I'm so glad that you've joined me today, and I can hardly wait to see what you create. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for being a part of the Paper Wishes family. We are really glad that you're here with us. Do be sure to leave a comment because we'd love to hear what you think. Each item that you've seen here today can be purchased separately, and you can see them all below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. For that money saver, just see this webisode on paperwishes.com.